And I am Marilyn Weston, and you're definitely getting it straight from a woman's perspective here on Zoomer Radio. And my first guest is Darren Farwell, a Senior Wealth Advisor from Scotia Wealth Management. And apparently you hit a button, Darren. You've been talking about life insurance to people who, some are retired and well on in years. And I got a couple of calls, and basically I'm jumping the gun here, but I'm going to say, why talk about life insurance when you're towards the end of your life? Is there a number that's too high to get life insurance?
There is a number that's too high, but it's much older than people would normally think. Life insurance, when I first started in the business, we only talked about life insurance for sort of younger couples, covering the risk of the loss of income. But as interest rates have gone so low over the years and people are planning for passing their legacy on to beneficiaries, and life insurance has taken on a lot of different roles, and that's why I wanted to highlight some of the reasons why, even well into retirement, someone might consider buying life insurance. Before I do that, of course, I want to mention that tomorrow's supposed to be a very sunny day. We're supposed to get some warm sunshine. It'll be even sunnier if the Toronto Maple Leafs can pull off a win against the Capitals. So
fingers crossed. Go Maple Leafs.
Yes. So over the last few weeks, I have been highlighting stories about how life insurance can be a tax-smart strategy well into your retirement years. The 5 reasons, that is, number 1, to cover the potential taxes that might be owed by your estate on death. I told our listeners about a man that at age 72 bought life insurance to cover the potential tax of the family cottage. Now, since that discussion, Marilyn, I did meet, you said you've had some calls. I met with a couple that liked the idea of making things easier for their kids by buying life insurance to cover the potential tax, not only of their cottage, but they also had a family ski chalet in BC, and the kids wanted to retain both those properties, and there was going to be a significant amount of tax at the time of the death of the second of their couple. So on the death of the second spouse, life insurance provides a quick and easy way to provide hard, cold cash to pay the very hard, cold costs of tax on the gains of your non-principal residence properties.
And obviously it's more tax efficient to buy life insurance and pay that no matter what that number is, as opposed to what the tax department's going to charge you on a second property.
Well, at the end of the day, you owe the tax. It's just whether or not you're going to pay the tax out of the net estate or whether you're going to buy life insurance to cover the cost.
Forgive my blonde.
That's a very good question, though. That's number 1. Number 2, the second reason for owning life insurance well into retirement is to provide a tax-smart guaranteed investment. For this, we heard the story of a woman who was certainly going to leave money to her beneficiaries. It wasn't a question of how much or whether she was going to leave money. It was a matter of how much. But she would leave 50% more using life insurance in that guaranteed portion of her investment portfolio than using traditional GICs and bonds. And Marilyn, my experience is that anytime you're talking about 50% higher returns after tax, it brings a big smile to people's faces.
I thought I misheard you when you said 50%. That's a big chunk of change. So you don't know what you don't know. There are people sitting there who could be leaving 50% more just because they look at life insurance as part of their package.
Right. As long as you remember, this isn't money that's for you. This is money that's for your beneficiaries.
Thank you for being clear, but yes, I get that.
And the magic being, it's not like there's a miracle. It's just that inside a life insurance policy, the money grows tax-free. So you don't have to pay tax each year, whereas with a traditional GIC or bond, you have to pay full tax on anything you earn every given year.
Thanks for explaining.
You're welcome.
Now number 3.
The 3 reasons for buying life insurance well into retirement that I have not covered yet are number 3, to provide a minimum estate for beneficiaries. Number 4, you can make tax-smart charitable donations using life insurance. You can use life insurance to provide money to a charity that will give you a tax deduction either while you're alive or on death. And finally, of course, there are circumstances, even in retirement, where you may want to buy life insurance to cover the risk of loss of income. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. This morning, I'd like to tell a happy story about number 3, leaving a minimum estate to your beneficiaries. Now, I know this one seems a little obvious, but it's worth mentioning because there's a wrinkle at the end. I began to work with Rick and Joanne in 1994. Back then, their objective was to retire early. They planned and saved, and we invested wisely, so they were in fact able to retire at age 58. For all the years afterward, when we updated their financial retirement plan, they said, no, we don't need to buy life insurance for the kids. They happen to have 3 children. They figured the estate was big enough, so they didn't need to buy life insurance. The children were already going to have enough. They could afford the insurance. They just didn't feel that they wanted to. Well, interestingly enough, 2 months ago, Rick and Joanne came in for our regular face-to-face annual review. Lo and behold, what did they want? A life insurance. They wanted to buy a $500,000 policy for each of the kids. Why the change of heart? Well, a friend of theirs had died. A mother of 3 children. The father had died earlier. Rick and Joanne know a couple of their kids, and during the various conversations, the kids said on more than one occasion how helpful it was to have the insurance money paid out so easily and quickly. Very often, insurance money can be paid out in as little as 3 weeks to a month. And it was really appreciated, as it made a lot of little things so much easier to deal with. So, Rick and Joanne know they can easily afford to put the insurance in place, because what we did was we took the cost potentially of buying the insurance and ran their financial estate plan with this additional cost in the plan. No problem. They could afford it without any difficulty. So we scheduled the medicals, their applications are in, and at age 76 and 78, they're buying $500,000 of life insurance for each of their 3 kids. And they're feeling really happy about it. Now, this is the wrinkle. Research shows that this is actually quite a common occurrence. People younger in life feel that they don't want to buy life insurance or leave a specific amount for the beneficiaries, but as they age, they change their mind and figure that they do want to. So my suggestion from today is just do it when you're younger. It costs a whole heck of a lot less.
So if you get it when you're younger, as you age, you've already established sort of what you're paying, and they don't balloon out a payment. Where if I wrote down 76, like one of the couple here, that their health and all of these things, the payment could be considerably more. Is that basically what you're saying?
Well, what life insurance is really a function of your age and how much longer the life insurance actuaries feel you're going to live. So life insurance is generally less expensive when you're younger.
Since I like bargains, I think it's a good thing that I looked into that earlier. But thank you for the advice. So we've touched on 3, and I guess we're going to continue our conversation about the 5 reasons to buy life insurance next week as well.
Yes, we will, Marilyn.
So I'll encourage anyone who's a listener who has questions, if it resonates, to either call me or email me at through the website marylands.ca, or you can call Darren. Are you going to work today, even though it's sunny?
Well, it's not that sunny, Marilyn. Yes, I am.
Okay, so if you wish to speak to Darren and get the information immediate gratification person, then you can reach him at 416-863-7501. That's 416-863-7501. It's never too late to learn what to do, and as long as you're alive, you can go forward with plans that are appropriate to do. Even life insurance at 76, it sounds like, Darren. And coffee and parking still on you?
Always free coffee and parking, Marilyn.
So a conversation. Learn how to be proactive in your life, not reactive. Make the decisions based on solid information. And when it comes to money matters and investing tax efficiently, I can recommend Darren Farwell, Senior Wealth Advisor from Scotia Wealth Management.
And Marilyn, can I just interrupt you for a second? Just
Sure.
in terms of those meetings we've talked about, as it's turned out, the last couple of meetings I've had have been out at bank branches close to the people who wanted to have the meeting. So a few times we have arranged to meet at a local local Bank of Nova Scotia branch close to where the people are.
There used to be a TV show called Paladin, and it was Have Gun, Will Travel. So have information about financial planning, will travel, if Darren Farwell is your financial advisor. And all you have to do is make that call and get the information and then determine what's best with you. But Darren has a whole team, so there's accounting involved, insurance involved, legalities involved. It isn't just about investing your money, it's about the whole picture. 416-863-7501. Thanks again for that good education. I always learn from you. No matter how long we know each other, you always have something new to teach me. I'm amazed. Thank you.
You're welcome, Marilyn.